Good morning, everyone. So, it's nice to come back to Sri Lanka for the second time. I was here in Colombo in September for the first training. That was ICT for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And today I'm going to talk about business optimization in agriculture using ICTs. How using technology and effectively using ICTs we can improve our existing processes, and how we can help the small farmers increase their revenue. So my presentation will be focused on that. So here's the agenda for this session. First of all, I'm going to talk about the challenges that are being faced by agriculture industry and how we can convert those challenges into opportunities using ICTs. Then I'm going to talk about programs available for the incubation of small businesses here in Sri Lanka. I'm going to talk about promotion, branding, and marketing. As the DG already said, marketing is a very important aspect of technology. And then I'm going to talk about increasing exports and access to international markets. And in the end, we are going to conclude. We are going to have a small session at the end, which is how to create a website without having any technical knowledge or without having to know the HTML. So you created your first website back in 2000, and it was using HTML. How we can, like, how many of you are technical people, like technology background? So without having any technical knowledge of HTML, and how can we create a website using WordPress, which is a tool available for creating websites. So it's a free tool, free to start with, and I'm going to demo that at the end of the presentation. So let's start with the presentation. First of all, this is the current agricultural supply management, chain management. This involves complex, different interactions between, interconnected processes between different stakeholders. So the current system is inefficient, and it has got some challenges. We are going to discuss those challenges. First of all, there's a lack of gap, and gap is good agricultural practices. So there's a lack of gap content available out there, and most of the farmers are not applying good agricultural practices. Then the next challenge is the digital divide. Only 30% of the Sri Lankan population have access to the internet. So the next big challenge is the digital divide. How can we improve our infrastructure so we can build technological solutions on top of it? So the digital divide, it's a huge challenge. The next challenge is how do we improve earning opportunities for our farmers? So this is a huge challenge. Next, lack of access of financial services for the farmers. This is another challenge. Then lack of food traceability, food loss and wastage. This is a big problem, food loss. And then urbanization. People are moving into the cities from rural areas, and this presents a big challenge for the agriculture industry and agriculture-based businesses. And next one is drought due to climate change. So let's talk about them one by one. First of all, food wastage is a big problem. According to FAO, 1/3 of the food produced globally gets wasted. This costs the food industry around $1 trillion in losses annually. And the impact on environment is huge. Think of all these natural resources that are used to grow our food. Think about all the water that is being used, all the land that is being used, and then that food gets thrown away or wasted. So this is a huge problem. And so 1/3 of the food produced globally gets wasted. So currently the world population is around 7.5 billion, and globally there are 800 million people who are undernourished. So the world population is expected to reach 8.5 billion by 2030. So this means that in addition to feeding those 800 million undernourished people, we have to feed additional 1 billion people. So in addition to increasing food production, we have to reduce wastage as well. One of the UN Sustainable Development Goal is zero hunger, which is to eliminate hunger by 2030. This will be only possible if, in addition to increasing our production, we reduce our food loss. And this food loss happens at every step in the supply chain management. It is not only the consumer who is wasting the food. It happens at every step. So we need to reduce this food wastage. So these are the, like we already talked about the sustainable development goals. There are 17 sustainable development goals, and one of them is zero hunger. And this is linked, this food wastage is linked to other sustainable development goals as well, which is no poverty, responsible production and consumption, life below water, and life on land. So the next challenge is urbanization. By 2050, 70% of the world population will be living in urban centers. Right now, 18% of the Sri Lankan population lives in cities. So the challenge over here is the youth, they are turning away from agriculture and they are moving into the cities in search of better job opportunities. Why are they doing that? Because they consider agriculture as labor intensive and low paying, and they are moving away from agriculture. So this is a huge challenge for food logistics. Next challenge is drought due to climate change. So as you all know that Sri Lanka this year has faced the worst drought in the last 40 years, due to which people are migrating from the rural areas to the cities in search of better job opportunities. So this is a huge challenge. So as we all know that rice is the main staple food for Sri Lanka, and it is a very important crop because 1/3 of all the area harvested is used to cultivate paddy rice. And a rice farmer in Sri Lanka, here in Sri Lanka, needs 2 successful harvests a year, that is Yala and Maha, on a land of 2.6 acres to earn 17,000 rupees a month, which is just sufficient to keep a family of 4 just above the country's poverty line. This is an ideal situation. But what has happened this year is due to drought, the production has gone down by 35%. So these poor farmers who are smallholders are really struggling. And in addition to that, small farmers do not own 2.6 acre area land. Most of them own less than that, maybe less than 1 acre. So they produce even less. So this is the challenge. So the people who are responsible for our food production, they are living in such, they are finding it difficult to make their ends meet. Then how can we increase our food production? So as we know that paddy rice is not an exportable, like the priority of Sri Lanka is not to concentrate on export of paddy rice, but at least we should be, during the 2012-2013, Sri Lanka was self-sufficient. But this year, due to drought, Sri Lanka has to import rice. So at least we should achieve sustainability in rice production. And this will only be possible if we provide better opportunities to these farmers. And so they are encouraged to harvest even more. So this is the paddy rice, this is data from FAO. This is the paddy rice yield for the last 50 years. You can see different countries, United States and China at the top. This is basically the yield, how much can we grow in 1 hectare of land. So as you see, the general trend is that during the last 50 years, we have doubled our yield. But if we want to meet the challenges of the future, we need to double this food yield again in the next 50 years. The last century was the area, as Samir talked about, the last century was the era of industrialization, like mechanization, better use of fertilizers. Due to all these factors, we were able to double the yield in the last 50 years. This century is the century of information revolution. If we want to increase the yield again, we have to use technologies like big data and analytics and use of the information technology to disseminate information for the farmers. So this is very important going forward. So let's talk about opportunities. How can we convert these challenges into opportunities using technology or ICTs? First of all, we'll have to grow with less. This is the reality of life, that we have less resources, we have less water, we have less land, and using those resources that are available, we have to grow more with the existing resources. The next opportunity is financial inclusion for rural farmers. If we are able to provide financial inclusion to these farmers, then we can they will be able to increase their earning that way, and it will ultimately increase efficiency. Then next one is we need transparency in our supply chain. So one of the problems over here is with pesticides. So we need a tracking system so we can track our pesticides and throughout the supply chain. So we can avoid the ones that are dangerous, and we can produce better quality food. The next one is the opportunity is using ICT to disseminate information. In this case, I'm talking about good agricultural practices, but there can be any information. Like the important information that a farmer needs, number one, he needs information about the weather, he needs information about the prices, and he needs information about when to cultivate and which crop to cultivate. So all this information needs to be disseminated through the use of information and communication technologies. There can be different mediums for this, like radio, television, and even right now we are talking about using mobile phones. So grow more with less means grow more with less resources, less water, and less land. So we need to be smart with our investments, and we need to invest in technologies. We need to invest in seeds which can yield, which can produce better yields. So Melinda and Gates Foundation is working in Africa, and they are working on seeds. They are working with farmers on seeds which can produce better yield, and they are better adapted to that climate conditions. So micro irrigation is used to conserve water. As you know, Sri Lanka is the water availability over here is not that high, and Sri Lanka is water constrained country. So micro irrigation, which includes drip irrigation as well, needs to be used. Then we need climate smart agriculture, same as using seeds which are more resilient to climate change. So next one is financial inclusion. So as you know that most of the Sri Lankans have already got their bank accounts, but most of them are dormant and there's not a lot of activity. So if we think in terms of rural contracts, in terms of rural farmers, they may have not access to a bank or a traditional institution, but they can use their mobile phone for their payments. As we know that there's more than 100% penetration rate here in Sri Lanka. So using Mobitel launched M-Cash back in 2013, and there's Easy Cash also available. So use of these technologies, we can use, we can enable them financial inclusion for these rural farmers. We can provide them access to credit line, and this will ultimately result in increasing their revenue. So one of the targets of the UN Sustainable Development Goal zero hunger is to double the income and production of the small farmers by 2030, and that is only possible through digital financial inclusion. Next one is increasing transparency in our supply chain. So right now, right now we don't know the source of the food products that we eat. Where are they coming from? Under which conditions they are kept? Which pesticides are being applied on it? So rather than having, so right now the supply chain is completely opaque. We can make it more transparent by applying blockchain, which is the distributed ledger technologies, and having a QR code on each product. So you can just scan the QR code and you get the complete information about the origin of that product. And I know over here in Sri Lanka, the use of pesticides, harmful pesticides, is a big problem. So we can apply a similar solution to that as well, like using QR code and distributed ledger technologies, which is blockchain, to track the products, the pesticides, as they move along in the supply chain. So this is very important to increase the transparency in supply chain. And next, so ICTs in agriculture. So farmer needs information, weather information. And he needs hyper-local information. By hyper-local information, I mean he needs information about the temperature conditions, humidity, right in his area. So if a humidity sensor or temperature sensor can be installed on a BDS, he will get more local information rather than getting a city-wide information. So similarly is with the pricing. So he needs to get fair price for the for the products he produces. So getting that market information, access to that market information is very important. This way we can improve, this way we can exclude the middleman, which profits a lot by sitting in between the marketplace and the farmer. Next, good agricultural practices information. Right now, most of the farmers are not applying gap information, good agricultural practices to their agriculture. So using, if we can create videos and content, mobile application, that way they will be able to educate themselves and then apply that gap information to produce better export compliant products. So right now, the Department of Agriculture is providing training to 2,000 farmers countrywide on good agricultural practices. These are extension workers are called CAP officers. Right now, they are training 2,000 farmers. Any CAP officers over here attending this session? Okay, so you are CAP officer. So you reach out to these farmers and try to educate them on the best practices, good agricultural practices, right? So right now, you are reaching, the Department of Agriculture is reaching 2,000 farmers. They want to, the target is to reach 100,000 farmers in the next 5 years. And increasing the number of extension workers is not scalable. The only other solution is to use ICTs and technology. So if you, you already have a YouTube channel, so you upload those videos over there. And we have developed one mobile application, which is SL Gap. It's already being developed. It will be available on the Google Play in a couple of, maybe in a couple of days. So using this application can be used by extension workers as well as the end users. So now the important thing is when the application becomes available, the technology is one aspect. We need to reach out these farmers. So marketing that application will be very important. How Department of Agriculture can market that information and reach out to those farmers. So this is the mobile application that we have developed. It is available in Signalese, Tamil and English language, and it basically guides the farmer on how to apply good agricultural practices. This application also helps assist the farmers how to get GAP certification. So the GAP certification process, the steps to get the GAP certificate, it's already there for them to understand. And it's in their local language so they can understand it. And in this kind of, if we are targeting farmers, it's better, it's more important to use, even if they are educated, it's more important to use symbolic representations inside the app so they get more familiar with the app. And it will have access to SL Gap portal, which I believe is being developed right now and will be finalized soon. And it will have an option where they can contact Department of Agriculture if they want. So this is the SL Gap Android app that we have developed, and hopefully it will help extension workers as well as the farmers. But the goal over here is to reach out as many as farmers as possible, and that will be only possible if we market this application extensively. So next I'm going to talk about incubation programs that are available for agro-based businesses here in Sri Lanka. So one of them is Lanka Social Network, and the other one is Rural Enterprise Network. So Rural Enterprise Network helps the farmer with the branding, packaging technique. They market their products under the common REN brand name, and they help them with the access to international and local markets. So this is how this Rural Enterprise Network is acting as an incubation, business incubator, and helping those small farmers increase their earnings. So next I'm going to talk about Sri Lanka e-agriculture's strategy. It was jointly developed by ITU and FAO. It was finalized in 2016, and it was based on agriculture strategy guide. In this e-agriculture strategy, it has identified 97 challenges and 48 ICT solutions. Out of this 48 ICT solution, one of them was good agriculture practices content for rural farmers. So we have already developed one out of these 48 ICT application. The other one is the traceability. There are some other ones as well which will be developed in the near future. And this report contains 9 strategic recommendations as well. So next I'm going to talk about the Smart Sri Lanka 2025 vision, which is the government vision document for Sri Lanka. And it talks about, so according to Smart Sri Lanka vision, it will facilitate farmers in agriculture markets. It will help the smallholders in tea, rubber, and other non-traditional exports. And it will help with the disaster management as well. As we know that Sri Lanka is prone to disasters. This year we had landslides and floods. So this, we are going to talk about disaster management in more detail during our session in the evening. So, and the next one is the government will encourage innovation in mobile payments. So mobile payments, digital financial inclusion is very important for the farmers. So this is Sri Lanka, Smart Sri Lanka 2025 vision. So next one is exports and access to international markets. The Sri Lankan farmers need to adopt good agricultural practices in order to produce export-compliant products, agricultural products. So they need to avoid usage of dangerous chemicals which can cause cancers, and EU has specifically banned those chemicals and pesticides. And then the other thing is there needs to be cold storage facilities. For example, if we think about fruits, they are perishable items. They are easily can get wasted if they are not stored under proper conditions. So we need cold storage facilities for them. And this is how we can, by adopting good agricultural practices and avoiding chemicals which are dangerous, this is how we can get access to international markets. And the other one is getting good agriculture practices certification. Department of Agriculture also provides GAP certification. There is a global GAP program as well. So using those GAP certifications, you get more credibility in international markets that you are producing export compliant products. So to conclude, I would say that ICTs increases if applied effectively, it can increase the efficiencies in agriculture markets. We need to increase the productivity and the income for the small farmers. And in order to do that, we need to provide them access to financial resources, financial services, access to credit lines, so so they can improve their productivity and earning potential. So, any questions so far? So, if there are no questions, I have a video that I wanted to play over here, which is how ICTs can be used in agriculture industry. So I would play that video, and after that we'll have a small activity of how to create a website in WordPress without having any technical knowledge. We are going to have a small demo or how to create a website without knowledge of HTML or without any technical knowledge at all. So we are going to have use this tool called WordPress, and 29% of the websites on internet are developed using WordPress. So this is a very powerful tool. Before we go to the activity, I want to play a video. If anyone can help me with the audio over here.
Been associated with poor farm practices, intensive labor, low productivity. Have long been associated with poor farm practices, intensive labor, low productivity, and low income. This has made the sector particularly unattractive to a new generation of farmers. But this seems to be changing. IT can play a role in attracting youth into agriculture by enhancing access to market information, production techniques, new technologies and financing opportunities. Their perspectives have changed. Farming is now moving from a backbreaking, poorly paid, labor-intensive.
So next we are going to have a small session on how to create a website using this tool called WordPress. So you are going to follow along with me. So the idea is like, for example, if there's a smallholder, small farmer, and he has some education, but he doesn't know the technical stuff. How can he improve his web presence, and how he can use technology in order to increase his livelihood? So the first step is how do he create a website where he can list his products. So I'm going to walk through a simple activity where we are going to create a website using WordPress. So any questions so far on the presentation? Anyone? Okay. If there are no questions, let's get started with the activity. Open this URL, which is wordpress.com, wordpress.com. So please open this URL. So using this tool, you can create very interactive and powerful websites without having knowledge of technical stuff like HTML, JavaScript and stuff like that. Without doing any programming, you'll be able to create your own website for free. And later on, if you want to host it, you can purchase the domain name, and it's a small fees involved, but initially it's for free. So all of you have opened this web page, wordpress.com. Okay. So next we need to get started. So just hit the get started button on the web page. So this one is a small survey. So let's skip this for a moment and hit the login button at the top right. So I have hit the sign in button at the top right, and it has given me the option. I need to create an account with this, or I can use my Google account. So do you already have Google accounts, Gmail accounts? How many of you have Gmail accounts? So you can use an existing one. Otherwise, you'll have to enter your email address and continue, and it will give you instructions on how to. So I'll follow the process of. So I'm going to provide an my email address over here. So let's use the sign up process first, and let's create an account using our email IDs and then see what happens. So what would you like? It's just asking the website that you are creating, what would be the name of that website. So I've just typed in Kandy Sri Lanka, and what will be the website about. So this is just, I can say, so already agriculture is there in the drop down, so I select that. So next is asking what's the primary goal of your website. So over here you can check promote your business. And next one is how comfortable are you with creating website. So we'll say we are just beginning. So we say 1. So all of this is clear. Just the name of the website that you are creating, what it's used for, and in the skill you can just say beginner 1.
I unable to.
Yeah, so you can WordPress.com.
This one?
Okay, yes. Try to open WordPress.com website. Get started. Enter name and keyword. Enter your site name. So you can just say agribusiness or something like that, and anything you want, agribusiness or agriculture-based products. Peter, can you help me a little bit? It's done, this step? Okay. Okay, so you should say, just start with a blog. Okay, fine. So let me know when everybody completes this step. We are going to move ahead to the next step. So from here, I'm going to hit the continue button. So over here, it's going to ask me the URL of my website that I'm going to create. So over here, if I'm using the free package of WordPress, it's going to give me a URL like this. Any name that you type in .wordpress.com. So you will not have your own URL in this case. If you want to have your own URL, you have to purchase the domain name and then you have to do the registration. So for the sake of this demonstration, we are using this free one. So try to type any name over here and this will give you at least one free option, which will be the name that you type in .wordpress.com. So this will be ultimately the URL of your web page. So let me walk and see if I can help. So you can use this one, first one. You can click this one. Not right now, but you can. Yeah, you already have it. So all of you are getting the free option, so that's good. Any help required? Yeah, okay. So all of you are on this page right now. Okay, all of you see the free option. So let's select this one, the free option, and see. This will be ultimately the URL. So it's not very intuitive. If someone wants to access our website, we will have to give this URL, which is not very intuitive, but ultimately this is the free version. In the paid version, which is $4 a month, you get your own domain name, like mysrilankaagriculture.com or something, agricultureproducts.com, Sri Lankan products, something like that. So whatever domain name, you have to purchase that. For now, we are just using the free one, so let's go ahead with that. Select this one. Now it's giving us the options, picking up a plan. We are going to start with the free one. So all of you are on this web page. Select this one, which is start with free package. Okay, you can click this one. If anybody has any confusion or needs any help, let us know. So I'm going to select this option, which is start with free. And next is going to ask me my email address, which I'm going to type in. Maybe already registered with this address, but let's see what happens. So on this page, So you provide your email address and password, and maybe keep the user ID the same, or maybe you can change it as well, depends on you. So please provide your email address and password. This will be used to log in into WordPress.com in the future. Maybe I'll have to open a link in this email, but over here the problem is if you try a different laptop, usually email doesn't work. I think I should open my laptop as well. Because I think email has got two-step authentication. So if you try to log in, remember the problem we faced last time? Maybe I'll have to ask them. I don't have one. But let's see. I'll keep it as a backup over here. So let's continue. I'm going to hit the all of you have followed up till now. I'm going to hit the continue button from here. So next, you are going to see this screen. So congratulations, your website is already up. You can visit it using this link. So try to, I'm going to open it in a new tab. Right click on it and open it in a new tab. Let's open it anyway. Yeah, that's okay. So you see over here, it's going to guide you, but we already have our website up and running. The content, the images, and the pictures, we can change it, but the basic structure it has already developed for us. So on the left side, you will see a menu. On my site, you can already, if you want to change something, you can get it from here, but it's already, this is already website created for you. So next step would be how to change the content. Let me walk through and see if everyone has. Yeah.
It's a good logo.
It's actually, I was planning something else. It's everything on runtime. I was not following this one, but I know the tool a little bit, but it's runtime. Everything is on runtime. I was not planning this.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, the logo works well.
Yeah.
Maybe because you gave it the name.
Yeah, agriculture. Yeah. Okay. So all of you have got the website set up. If you don't believe it, then try to access it from another computer. So your website is already live. So for example, the person sitting next to you, if you enter his URL in your in your browser, you'll be able to access his website. Try doing that if you want. So the next step would be how to customize. Like this is Agri Sri Lanka. I don't want that. I want to change this title. I want to add my own logo, my own images. How do I do that? So that is possible from the sidebar. You can customize. You can even customize the theme. This is by default. He has given us one theme, but if you don't like this theme is like how the images are set up over here. So we can customize that as well. So let's see what we can do on the left pane. So on the left side, if you see, if you click on this site pages, so you see like over here, let me go back and open this in a new tab. So over here, if I go to the side pages, you see home, about, pages, contact. So over here, this is the same, home, about, pages, contact. So what if you want to change something? What if you want to change this text over here on the home page? So you come back over here, and in the side pages you have an option for home. So you click on that. So this is the text that is being So this is the text, welcome to our new website, can edit the page. This is the text that is being displayed over here. So what if I want to change this text? This is the text I want to change. So, and also one of the things that I wanted to show you over here is right now what we'll be doing is changing this simple text over here. But what it will be doing is it will be creating an HTML for us. HTML is this hypertext markup language. So you do not need to know the HTML or the technical stuff. It's already generating for you. You just need to change the text and it will be automatically changed. But just for your information, if you go to the HTML tab, it will show you the actual code that is being created to run that website. So coming back to the visual tab, let's remove this text and say welcome. So like if you change this text and then you preview from this tab, you see that text has been changed over here. Next we will see how we can change these images. Maybe we want to use a different image, but like right now, like you saw that the text that I changed over here, I can close this tab. Would you like, let's cancel this. So you have to do the email verification. There will be a link sent to your email and you need to click on that link to verify your email address. After that, you can hit this update button and in this tab you will see that this text will be updated automatically. So let me know if anyone has any confusion. It's simply going to the home page and changing the text over there and then seeing the actual website change. Yeah. What is it saying? You already have it. No, no, he has.
The limit has been reached, so yeah, it says that. Oh, it's okay now. Oh, very
Great,
good.
great.
to my home page.
Mm-hmm.
So how I can
Five pages. You add.
just type
I think you have to hit the update button over here. No, no, not this one. This update button down over here. You have to you have to verify your email first. So actually, there's a limitation. You need to, like on the top right corner, you see like you cannot update your website because you have to click on the link, verification link that is sent to your email. So try to open up your email. You would have got an email from WordPress.com. Click on the verification link. Afterwards, you'll be able to update it from here and then see the changes that you make in real time. So I'm going to go do the same if I am able to access my Gmail account from here. So how many of you can you get me up like Wi-Fi on this one, my laptop, so I can do the verification?
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, can we ask someone? Yeah, because I think. Okay, how many of you have already clicked on the link in the email? So once you do the verification, then on the top, when you change something, you'll have the update button activated. So let me know if you have any problem verifying. You have to go to your email, the same email address that you used over here. You would have gotten a verification email. So I'm going to click on my link also, and then we'll be able to update it and make changes in the website as we want. First of all, we want to update the text. Next, we will be updating the images as well. Now you see, like whatever changes I'll make to this text, I see an update button right at the top, and I have opened the web page in another tab. So let me make a change over here. Right now my update button is activated. Previously it was not activated because I didn't verify my email address. Now that I have verified my email address, it's already, the button, it should be blue. All of you see this blue button, right? The link in your email, it's verified, right? So let's change the text from here and say something like, and then update it from here. So it's updated. Right now we have to refresh our link, and we can do that by just hitting the enter button. So you see the text that I changed over here, it updates in real time over here. All of you should be able to do this. So try this out. Try to change the text in the home page from the left navigation bar. Hit the update button and see the website whether the changes are being reflected or not. So, you have any problem? Or it's fine. So like right now, let's see how we can, on the same home page, if we want to add some images, how do we do that? So we have an add button over here in this menu, and we have some options like media. So we select media. So these are already the existing ones that are being uploaded, and we can have add a new one from here. So if we are going to add a new one, it's going to ask us for a link. So what I'll do is I'll download an image from Google Images. So I'm going to download this image. So let me go through the steps one more time so you are able to follow. So I'm going to close. So I'm on this home page right now. So you can get to it from my site and then site pages. You can easily go to this home page. So I'm on this home page right now, and I want to add an image over here. So what I do is I click this add button and I hit this media. Media is already some existing images, but we don't want to use them. We want to add a new one. So I add a new one. I have already downloaded one which is present in my downloads. So let's use this one just for the sake of example. So I'll open it. It is being uploaded, and now I have to select it. So I select this one and hit insert. So that image is being added over here. And now if I update and see my website, so on home page you see the image that I just uploaded. It's already being displayed, this image that I just uploaded. So similarly you can change, I'm going to show you how to change this image as well. We can change this image if you want. So right now go to site pages, home, and try to insert a media item. Add media item and try to insert the image, and then update and see if that image appears on the actual website. Next we are going to change the images that are being already present, but right now we are looking how to add a new image to the website, which is quite simple. Everybody done with this? Are we able to add an image to our home page? Next, what we want to do is we want to change, let's see, I preview my website. So this is also a nice thing about WordPress, like it's showing me how my website will be rendered on tablet, how it will be rendered on a phone, and how it will be rendered on a desktop. So next we want to change this image over here. So although it's a good image that relates agriculture with ICT, so but anyway, let's change it.
How do you get to that landing page? So I think a lot of them, I can't find the way back to that.
Okay, from the website.
I want to just click on preview.
Okay, I think if we close this sidebar, this is an option view site. So if you are already viewing your website, you already have my site tab right on the left side, and you can get to the menu anytime you want. So like if we if you are on the website, you can and you want to go to the menu, so you can click on this My Site menu right at the top left, and you can go to the website, this menu anytime you want. So over here, we have an option of theme. So we want to customize our existing theme. So we are going to go to themes and then customize this one. So over here we have an option of header image. Either we can click on that header image. So we can add a new image for header from here or select from the existing ones. So let's select from the existing ones. I select this one. And then, so you can see on the right side, it has already changed that image. So it's not right. Actually, I changed the header itself. So let's hide this image for now. You want to change this image. So we can go